All righty, here we go. I am meteorologist Ben Peine. This is Ben at 10 TGIF. It is Friday. And, if you're on this early, you are jumping on quick. But if you're on this early, it's probably the replay. This has been at 10. So we're talking about the weather in southern Indiana and beyond. We typically go about 45 minutes. If you have any weather questions, drop them in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from or just a good morning. I have a wicked sinus infection this morning, clogged up. So there's a lot of brain fog going on, but we're going to do the best that we can here for you with your forecast. We have some rain that'll move in tonight with a cold front and into tomorrow morning. The rain amounts are looking less for our area, and it looks like the severe weather threat will stay off to our east and southeast. So that is the good news with that. But as always, I'm not sure what platform you're watching on, but thanks for liking some of the other ones too. And you might like the other platforms better, like YouTube. Head over there to Extol Media and like or subscribe there. Extol Weather on Facebook, Extol Media, extolmag.com/weather. There's the brain fog online on the World Wide Web. And my meteorologist, Ben Peine page right there. So looking live outside here in uptown New Albany and a beautiful blue sky. Temps are in the 50s and 60s starting off. We've got a dry, warm front that's going to lift back north. It's going to heat us up to the mid-80s. There might be a bit of a range in temperatures across the area. Low mid-80s in southern Indiana. Might top out near 90 over parts of central Kentucky. So a brief warm-up today ahead of the cold front that'll drop us down to the upper 60s and low 70s for tomorrow. You heard that right. Upper 60s, low 70s, so we dry out tomorrow afternoon. So let's go ahead and pull up those weather headlines here, and I'll let you know what we're talking about here for today. So warm and dry during our day today. There is a lot going on. We've got Bats baseball versus the St. Paul Saints at 7:15, Racing Louisville FC versus the Portland Thorns at 8 p.m., and U of L football at 7 p.m. So I think we're going to be in good shape for any, pregame activities. And then after 8 p.m., I think is when we'll maybe see a few showers starting to move into the area. So we might be in decent shape for our evening activities, as a lot of the heavier downpours could be later at night, and especially off to the east and southeast. And the rainfall totals do not look like very much for most of us, maybe around a quarter inch or less. So some of that rain, again, tonight into tomorrow morning, and then we begin to taper off that rain around midday tomorrow as it moves off to the east and southeast. And then we're looking at a very long and dry weather pattern here for us that could take us through most of September. I'm not seeing much on the maps through most of the rest of the month. So after Saturday morning, clear sailing possibly for a long time. September might be very quiet and might get us back into the drought conditions. So let me go ahead and also, since we were talking about a storm chance yesterday, just to kind of ease your fears here, if you have any, so there's some folks out there that are very afraid of thunderstorms, and I get that, but we are under level 0 in Indiana from the Storm Prediction Center, so not expecting severe weather. And then a little sliver there around Louisville to Elizabethtown under level 1 out of 5. I still think that threat is almost 0. But you get towards Lexington and eastern Kentucky, and that's level 2. That's level 2 out of 5, what's called a slight risk of severe storms. So might get a couple storms that are stronger over eastern Kentucky towards the Bluegrass and towards the Appalachians. But most of our area, not going to be worried about severe weather for today. And that's always good news here for us. And let me go ahead and go out of the full screen here, and we'll take a live look outside again here in just a second. Getting a few comments popping in too. So let's say hello as we get started on our happy Friday, the 5th. And if you're wondering why my eyes look a little droopy and I don't sound great, it's because the sinus infection is back. Or maybe crazy ragweed. I don't know exactly what it is. I don't feel that bad, but it's all here. It's all there. If you're suffering too, I think Barbara Haas was suffering from the allergies. Misery loves company. So hopefully you're feeling good though. Tomorrow morning, we got to wake up early and head up to IU for their football game. As always, the first one to pop in, Beverly Haggis. Good morning. Had 55 this morning. I think I had around 54 on our little temperature gauge thermometer. There's a lot of brain fog going on too. This might be an entertaining show to see how many times I mess up. Happy fall. Yeah, it's going to be feeling like fall tomorrow for sure. And it is technically meteorological fall. We keep track of the seasons not by the astronomical fall, I should say. Um, the Earth and the Moon. That is how we keep track of the seasons with the calendar. But in weather, we keep track September, October, November is fall, and then winter is December, January, February, and so on, in 3-month periods. So in the weather world, it is fall. Christian Walker, a good morning there to you. Thanks for tuning in. Orlean Whitlow, have a great weekend. Do you think we're going to be bad weather today? No, I don't. I think through the daytime we're dry, and then tonight maybe some rain showers, but I don't think we'll have anything severe to worry about. Good morning to Lily and Lasley. Beautiful out there this morning. It is a great start to the day. Dennis Gregory, good morning from Bedford. Are we going to escape the rain this evening? Now, you up in Bedford, I think you're going to get very little, if anything. We'll take a look at the maps here in just a second. But northwest, much drier as far as kind of the region that we look at. And then wetter off to the southeast is kind of the trend. And we got a good morning here from John Fox. We'll toast to you. We need the good vibes here from Big Happy, or at least I do, because of the sinus infection and all that. I'm sick, the cars are sick, and the dogs are sick. I got to go pick up right down the road here at Ace Automotive. They've been helping me out here in New Albany with a lot of car troubles here lately. We've got several vehicles that have over 200,000 miles, and then a couple more that have like over 150. So we're just rotating out broken cars all the time. That's the fun stuff. All right, we're moving on. We're going to look one more time outside. And this is a cool, this is a cool website here. We got a good morning here from Mary Dale. Pass that one along. Good morning to you. Thanks for watching. Okay, so this is the fallsoftheohio.org camera. You can look at the current river levels, 10 feet. Obviously pretty low since we haven't had much rain. And just going to wait here for a second longer for the camera to load. Nope, I'm not going to wait anymore. We'll get back to it. extolmag.com/weather. We've got our live stream up as usual. 7-day forecast. And you move on down. There's the severe weather outlook, the drought monitor across the area, and a look at the live interactive radar, which is quiet this morning. Closest showers northwest of St. Louis. Putting on the temperatures here this morning. And it will be a little bit breezier today. We haven't had many breezy days this summer. Some of the wind gusts could be around 20 to 25. So temps in the 60s, a little bit warmer around Radcliffe and into Breckenridge County, around 70 degrees there. And then we pop on the temperature or the winds, pretty light breezes at the moment. Those winds will kick up later today as that front approaches. So again, just a reminder, a lot of tools here. And all right, here's a blow my nose warning. So I'm going to hit off of the microphone while this happens. I'll put the map back on so we're not watching me try to avoid the camera. Here we go. All right, the mic is back on. We did it. We got through a nose blow. And I'm going to have to sanitize this place because there's other people that work here. We don't want to get them a sinus infection if it's a virus or something. Excuse me. All right, we're moving on. We're trying to move on here. We're having a good time, as Dusty Slay, the comedian, would say. Oh, there's the camera. It popped on. All right, so there we go. Beautiful start across the area as we look live here. Hope you guys are having a good Friday morning. We got, hey, Wyatt Wright popping in this morning. Good morning. How is your live stream going, Wyatt Wright? The PRP weatherman. All right, here it is. I just want to mention, too, shout out to our partners, Lions Roofing, protecting your most valuable asset for a lifetime. You get free estimates there online anytime at lionsroofingco.com. Indiana 812-294-3595. And, again, they can help you out with all kinds of stuff. Again, they helped out my mom, and They are a great group of folks. We'll be golfing with them on Monday. And commercial, residential, custom home builds, anything you want roofing wise on both sides of the river, give them a call. And you may have to team up with your insurance company if you have any roof damage after a storm. Thankfully, we do the storm dodge today. Recently went golfing with Michael Long here and hope to do that again soon. Great guy, and he can help you out. They've actually had price drops here with American Family Insurance. So if you want to get a quote and check it out, tell him I sent you to 812-578-3072, and you can get some great service from him. Proud to be an American Star certified agency, excellence in customer service. Or you can head to his landing page here at amfam.com and then just search Michael Long. If you know someone that needs a new profession, a new career, a job opportunity, here you go. libspaving.com. Hit careers. They're the top asphalt contractor around. And they are busy right now. So there you can see all the available employment opportunities, and you can apply there online. Just hit the learn more right there. You can also increase your opportunities by heading to Ivy Tech Community College, 9 miles north of Louisville, and just hit locations and then Sellersburg, and then boom, you're right there. It's exit 9 miles north of Louisville. And just dozens and dozens of 2-year certification programs. Whatever you might be interested in, they probably have it figured out here for you. Look at all the different things that you can study. And dual credit for high schoolers, save thousands of dollars, save time, and get your future started now. They can meet you right where you are at. You belong here at Ivy Tech Community College. Thank you to our partners, and thank to you for watching here. We can all do this because of our weather family. All right, we're doing the straight black Folgers coffee this morning. Mary Dale, bless your heart. Can you cut it short this morning? We'll see. We'll just see how it goes. I don't feel that bad. It's just the sinuses. You know how it goes. All right, I'm going to bring up. We're going to, as usual, it's about 10:12. So we'll get through the forecast. And then we'll dig into the weather model data at right around 10:20. So if you're watching the replay, that's kind of the routine that we do. We give you the forecast right off the bat to get you started. And then we give you the detailed forecast. And then we look at the weather nerd section. And then we'll go into the long range outlook, which we often call the Ben on a Limb segment. All right, let's get back to the forecast here for you. Here's your weather headlines for your September 5th. Warm and dry today. We're looking at 80s across the area, near 90 maybe for some spots in Kentucky. Rain tonight and into tomorrow morning. It looks like it's looking lighter for much of the area, maybe around a quarter inch or less for most, heavier to the east and southeast. And then after the rain moves out tomorrow morning, we dry out tomorrow afternoon. It's going to be cooler in the upper 60s and low 70s, and then a long dry pattern. I was looking at the European weather model and the GFS weather model, and it was showing like no rain all the way through maybe like September 20th or beyond. Looking like a really dry September. But at least we got the rain here recently, and we'll get a little bit more tonight that we need. All right, moving on to the play ball forecast for today. 78 at noon, 85 this afternoon. A little warmer south, a little cooler north. That'll be the trend today. And it does look dry through this afternoon. West wind at around 10 to 20. Again, there's a lot of events going on. Bats, baseball. We've got Racing Louisville. We've got U of L football tonight. And the hope is we'll look at the weather models that it will hold off until maybe later in the evening. And so hopefully we'll be in good shape for most of those events. We've got a lot of weather history here. We'll try to zip through this. 1929 early season snowfall with on September 5th and 6th, 16 inches of snow, Fox Park, Wyoming. 1933 Cat 3 hurricane landed in South Padre Island, Texas. This is all tropical related. 1950 Hurricane Easy. Why would you name a hurricane Easy? Excuse me. So that one was erratic and unpredictable. It was not easy. It lingered over Tampa Bay for days. And then 1978 Tropical Depression Norman. The most recent tropical system to land in California near Long Beach. Yeah, you don't see California tropical systems very often. 1996, Category 3 Hurricane Fran made direct hit on North Carolina. 137 mile per hour winds, 1.3 billion in damage. In 2017, Hurricane Irma, so not that long ago, Cat 5 hurricane, 185 mile per hour winds. So you can tell it is peak hurricane season in September. Before 8 p.m. sunsets in 4 days. Autumn begins in just 17 days, a little more than 2 weeks. 19 days, average highs in the 70s, and 44 days, average highs in the 60s. So the forecast summary today for your Friday, September the 5th, 85 degrees, partly sunny and warmer. We'll have a chance for some showers moving in this evening and through the late night hours and into our Saturday morning. And a little bit breezier this afternoon, west wind at around 10 to 20 and our sunset at 8:06. In tonight's forecast, showers turning cooler, low of 59. A northwest wind around 5 to 10 as that front moves through. Now, tomorrow, it's going to be drying out in time for this event, Cruising for Scholarships, the Ivy Tech Car Show in Sellersburg. Again, that's exit 9, just north of Louisville on I-65 northbound, Saturday 11 till 3. So 60s, low 70s, and northwest wind around 5 to 10. Just really pleasant conditions to check out those sweet rides out there. Forecast tomorrow for your September the 6th, some morning showers, and then as we head towards midday, we'll dry out. 68 at noon, 72 for the afternoon high. Our sunrise at 7:17 and setting at 8:04. Our normal high 85, our normal low 65. And the 7-day forecast, oh my gosh, look at that typo, 712 degrees for Saturday. It's actually going to be around 72. So there's the brain fog kicking in. 52 Saturday night. We're in trouble if it's 712 degrees. 75 Sunday, 49 Sunday night, 78 on Monday, 82 Tuesday, 86 Wednesday, and then summer-like weather. But I think it's going to be kind of a dry heat late next week. Could be in the upper 80s next Thursday and Friday. All right, who's hoping for that 712 degrees for tomorrow? I mean, that's more than a broil right there. All right. We've got some comments coming in. I'm going to check this out. All right. We have Lillian Lasley here. Ben, you sound like me this morning. It'd be nice to go away. Yeah, a lot of us, whether it's allergies or maybe there's a virus going on, I have no idea, but I've got it. Tammy Morton and Vicky Roble, thanks for watching this morning. We'll give a happy birthday to Alan Henderson on this September 5th. That's a fun Friday. And we'll go 73 at Lillian's house. We've got a good morning here from Jeanette Pierce from Litchfield. Thank you very much. Brian Hurst, good morning to you, sir. Thanks for watching here this morning. And Christian says, I was sleeping and heard the thunder and rain and the weather radio went off. Interesting. All right, let's now start to dig into the weather models since we've gotten through the forecast. And as we look at the radar and satellite, there you can see the active weather's out to our west, starting to move into Missouri. That'll move into our area this evening. A lot of the data was showing after around 7, 8 o'clock. So hopefully, if you have some Friday evening plans, you can get out to it and get it started, and most of it should be dry. But right now, we've got pretty much all sunshine across the area. Now, let's go ahead and bring up the weather models for today. Let's do it. Let's dive into it. Hour by hour, we go with the future radar. So the model of choice we'll start with is I'm going to go with the high-resolution rapid refresh weather model. It updates every hour, and it is just about to load in here. Taking just a second longer. Let me jump this ahead a second. Maybe the internet is a little slow this morning. Maybe the internet's slow like I'm a little slow this morning. Well, thank you very much, Mom. So my mom, Laura Young. Everybody say hello, Mom. Sorry that you don't feel well, but you look good this morning. My mom's old saying, it's better to look good than feel good. All right, there it is. The weather models have woken up. Is woken up a word? Have awakened? I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good grammar. I'm not sure. We're waiting for the model. I'm going to jump ahead with this weather model. The data is chugging on the kind of slow internet this morning. So we'll just be a little bit patient here. I've got this here at 4 p.m. and once this loads up, I think it will be staying out to the west. I even did a reboot on the computer this morning. So this is at 4 o'clock today. That rain stays out to the west. So it looks like, again, we're dry through this afternoon. I'm going to jump this up to 7 o'clock. We got a hello, Mom, from Jeanette. Thanks for that. So here's 7 o'clock. So we might start to sneak in a shower for some areas around that time as we get closer to sunset. And then here's 8 p.m. There you can see a little bit of light rain starting to move in. Not a big deal. And then the stronger storms look like they'll stay over eastern Kentucky. So we're not worried about severe weather today. And here is 9 o'clock. Again, looking really light as it moves in. And the bulk of it in eastern Kentucky and down into Tennessee. So I don't expect a whole lot for tonight. There you can see it developing off to our east with the HER weather model. Christian asking about my weekend plans. We're going to IU for the football game tomorrow at noon. And then we'll be heading back and then maybe just chilling to try to get rid of this head cold. Beverly Haggis with a hello to my mom. Thanks for tuning in there, Beverly. And moving forward here, this is at midnight. So look at the latest trends. Eastern Kentucky getting everything. So I'm not expecting a whole lot of rainfall out of this. This is at 2 o'clock. And let me bring up the 48-hour version of the HRRR. Let me take this to around sunrise tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. So it actually might be wettest early tomorrow morning. This here is at 7 o'clock. We'll go to 8 o'clock and then 9 o'clock. So some rain showers around through about mid-morning. But I'm hoping by around 11 a.m. To noon, notice a lot of southern Indiana drying out. Kentucky, that rain lingers longer for you guys over the Commonwealth. So there's noon tomorrow. So kind of along and south of the river is where it stays wettest through a midday tomorrow. But as we get a little bit deeper into the afternoon, there you can see that rain tapers off. So it's around 2 to 3 o'clock for all areas starting to see drier conditions. Christian, looks like the rain stays south of you, and I don't see any rain for a very, very long time. Patty Brown, thanks for tuning in here this morning on a Friday. And then once that rain goes, as I mentioned here to Christian, it goes for a very long time. I'm not seeing much rain for the rest of the month. I mean, the weather models can change that far out, but there is not much happening in the long-range data. So that's that. Now let's bring up the temperatures. And this is going to be some good stuff tomorrow, especially if you like it on the cool side, and the fall-like side. Maybe not sweater weather, but maybe some long sleeves here for us. Let me go back out of the full screen, try to bring it up. There we go. Oh, it won't let me click on it. So here we go. Low 70s. And maybe where that rain lingers longer tomorrow afternoon, you're just looking at 60s over much of Kentucky. So there's your temperatures for your Saturday afternoon. So the reason why Indiana is warmer, and by warmer, I just mean low 70s, is because we get the sunshine first on the sunny side of the river, and then the clouds linger, so you're looking at 60s, maybe for your highest temperatures in Kentucky. So that might be Kentucky's coolest day since at some point in May. So a fall, autumn-like feel, no doubt about that, for our Saturday. Let me clear that out. All right, so Sunday is going to be awesome, too. Let me go ahead and bring up, we'll just bring up the NAM weather model. So Sunday is the 7th here for us. Let's go to Sunday afternoon. And well, I think it's going to be warmer than that. Let me go to the GFS weather model and take this to 5 p.m. Ooh, that's the wrong date. On the 7th. at 5 p.m. Yeah, and the data is just kind of chugging along this morning. Everything's a little slow on this Friday. All right, let's bring it back up. All right, so Sunday, we're looking at 70s and sunshine. I'm going to go in general for most of us Sunday around 75 degrees. You know, areas a little farther north might just be touching like the low 70s, south, mid 70s, maybe a little warmer out west. But this is some good stuff here. There we go. There we go. So that is Sunday. Now, again, let me bring up the 7-day just to show you what we're expecting beyond that. So it looks dry all next week. 70s through Monday, low mid 80s Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe some upper 80s Thursday, Friday. So what I want to look at in the long range data before we get back to the forecast is the return of summer heat. When that is going to happen, well, we can kind of see it in the 7-day forecast, Thursday, Friday. That would be above normal temperatures. We'll look at the tropics here as well. There could be a little development before we wrap things up. We're now at 10:26. So now that we're talking long range, let's get into it. All right. We are on the GFS weather model. I want to expand our view out. And let's just go to, so late next week, right around the 12th, that'd be Friday the 12th. And that's getting into what, Bourbon and Beyond, I think, is that weekend? And then the following weekend, Louder Than Life. So there you can see the heat beginning to build back into the region. Not crazy heat for us. And then, of course, what's very important around here, along with the heat, is there humidity. And it looks like, no, this is a dry heat. And that's what September is kind of all about. September and October. You can get the heat, but a lot of time it's not coming with the humidity. All the tropical air, if you notice, is staying out here over the open waters of the Gulf and the Atlantic, and we're not getting the return flow to make it muggy. So maybe friendly heat, we'll call it, later in September. And let's take that out a little bit farther here. Let's go back to temperature, and then let's just jump ahead to like the 15th. I don't know what day that is. Saturday, so that'd be like Monday the 15th. And so some of that heat, it looks like it's trying to move our direction, showing. And again, I think this is primarily some dry heat, mid-September, September 15th. Because again, if we bring on the dew points to measure water content in the air, that is awesome. So even though we warm up, it is a dry heat. It'll probably put us in drought. You know, not great for farmers that are trying to fill out the soybeans and all that. But that is a dry heat. A comfortable heat, kind of, you know? Maybe summer's last gasp, perhaps. Let's go ahead and take it out farther. September the 20th. I have no idea what day is September 20th. Is that a Saturday? Yeah, I think that's Parents' Weekend at IU. Yeah, Saturday the 20th. And I think that's Louder Than Life. So it looks like maybe a front moves through because, yeah, there we go. When does that front moves through? So this is the 18th. So this would be like a Thursday, maybe the 18th. So warm there. All right. So maybe that's the case. We have a mid-September warm up, and then a cold front will cool it back down, but a dry heat. So we'll take that. So I'm going to jump ahead back to the 20th. Well, check that out. Check that out. That's the coolest temperatures we've seen on the models so far this part of the year. That would be right around Saturday the 20th, showing temperatures in the 40s in the morning time. Now, again, we're on the Ben on a Limb segment, so this is not a guarantee that's going to happen, but it's the first time we've seen that chilly of temperatures on the weather models. And then if we go to Saturday the 20th afternoon, it's showing 70s. So, I think overall, while we will likely get a mid-September warm-up, maybe upper 80s, low 90s, it's a dry heat. But we're getting these fall fronts reloading. And, Canada kind of reloads its cool air and then shoots it down our way. And we begin to cool things off, week after week. Kind of a fall weather pattern here for us. Let me check out if we can bring up the jet stream pattern that far out. And there's not much showing up there with that. Let me go back to right now with our good old jet stream. So this is why we are going to be cool. That is wild. You don't see that very often. So the jet stream is way up here in Alaska, and then this is like a roller coaster. It dives way down. So the jet stream divides the cooler air to the north of it, and then the hot air to the south. So we are going to be on the cool side of that jet stream for this weekend into early next week. So that's why we get this front to push on through. Let me clear that drawing off there. That is extreme. When the jet stream goes way up one way, it typically goes way down another way. So that is not what we would call laminar flow or zonal flow. Zonal means flat with the jet stream. So that is the opposite. So let's go into when we start to warm things up next week. So that's around the 11th. See if we can see anything here with the jet stream changing. So that trough in the jet stream late next week is here now. And we start to get this ridge to build in. And so when that trough starts to move off to the east, it starts to take the cool air with it, and we begin to warm things up, and that summer pattern begins to return. But we don't get the return of the humidity, it looks like. It looks like it'll be a dry heat that we'll have. All right, that's the explainer. That's the dynamics in the entire atmosphere. That's why things are happening. And then now we're going to get back to our forecast. And we'll wrap it up here on a Friday. All right, let's bring this back up. There we go. And a few more comments popping in. Let me take a look here. And Christian saying, back to mid-September heat. You got it, buddy. You passed the test, the Bennett 10 test. Lillian Lasley, hope you feel better soon. Thank you very much. Have a great weekend. Christian saying hurricane tracking. Yeah, we can take a look at the tropics. Let me go ahead and bring up. Let me take that off and bring this back up real quick. Quick check of the tropics. There is a little development in the Atlantic, but that might become a tropical storm. But you can see nothing working right now in the Atlantic Ocean. As we go over here into the Pacific, let me bring up a couple storms there. Actually, we got a little what we call an invest in the middle of the Atlantic. So that is likely going to become a tropical system and could be heading toward, all the vacation islands into next week. And then you got two systems out here in the Pacific. Lorena, off of Baja California, and then in the Pacific, you've got Kiko, which could be heading to near Hawaii. So that's what they have in the Pacific, and then some development in the Central Atlantic. This is peak hurricane season, so this would not be a surprise that this is happening. And then we can bring up the nhc.noaa.gov. You can go here anytime, of course, nhc.noaa.gov. And this is the National Hurricane Center. So this shows a 90% chance of cyclone formation, so likely becoming a tropical storm very soon. So this says a tropical depression is likely to form this weekend or early next week, and likely to head again towards the vacation. I just call them the vacation islands there towards the Caribbean. Or do you say the Caribbean? By the latter part of next week. So if you have any vacation plans down that way late next week, might keep an eye on that with that hurricane development. Not, I wouldn't say hurricane. We don't know if it's going to be a hurricane, but some active weather out that way. Excuse me. There's a live look outside again with the Falls of the Ohio Foundation.org camera. And then, boom, this is our live cam right outside of our Extol Media Studios here in Uptown New Albany at the corner of Vincennes and Market. I'll be going right down Vincennes here shortly to pick up my car from Ace Automotive. Thankfully, they helped me out today. They did not charge for the service. They just charged me for the belt that needed to be replaced. So I really appreciate that. I think they're feeling bad for me because of how many problems we've had with that one vehicle. I'm not going to name the make or the model of that vehicle. I'm not going to throw them under the bus, but it's been a rough one. Laura, thanks for tuning in. Hello to you. Good to see you in the show this morning. All right, we're getting back to the forecast here. Warm and dry for today. Some rain will move in tonight and tomorrow morning, and then a long dry pattern. No severe weather with it for us. And again, it looks like most of the rest of September will be dry. 85 this afternoon, so it looks like we're in pretty good shape for any after-school activities. You got high school football, you've got U of L football, you got Racing Louisville FC taking on the Portland Thorns, you've got the Bats versus the St. Paul Saints at 8 p.m. So I think things will get started dry after 8 p.m. We might have a little light rain trying to move in. But I think there's a pretty decent shot that it won't be too bad this evening as far as that rainfall. In the weather history, 1929, early season snow of 16 inches in Wyoming. And then all the other records are tropical systems, 1933, 1950, 1978, 1996, 2017, various tropical storms and hurricanes. And again, that's because it is the peak of hurricane season here in September. We're only 4 days away from those before 8 p.m. sunsets. Autumn begins in 17 days, highs in the 70s in 19 days, and average highs in the 60s in 44 days. Laura, after 8 p.m., we might get some light rain moving into the area. That will continue into tomorrow morning. So for the daytime today, 85, summer-like warmth out there, as yesterday was nice and cool, but we're warming up pretty quickly. West-southwest wind around 10 to 20, our sunset at 8:06. And tonight, 59, our low with some showers around. Beverly Haggis, thank you very much. Appreciate that. And then we've got the Cruising for Scholarships Ivy Tech Car Show. That is tomorrow, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. I think we're going to be drying out right on time with 60s and low 70s and a light wind from the west-northwest around 5 to 10. And for our Saturday, September the 6th, looking at some morning rain tomorrow, 68 at noon, 72 in the afternoon. And a lot of the weather model data is showing around a quarter inch or less for the rainfall. So it might not be very heavy whatsoever, I guess, unless you're in eastern Kentucky. That's where it looks like the heaviest rain will be for tomorrow. 712 degrees for tomorrow, guys. This is going to be a rough one. Just kidding. The brain fog got me with the sinus infection. The 72 for tomorrow. 52. We all make mistakes. 52 Saturday night, 75 Sunday, 49 Sunday night. One of our cooler nights. There might be some outlying areas that drop down to the low mid 40s for Sunday night. That indicates some dry air too. 78 Monday, 82 Tuesday, and then back to some mid upper 80s likely by the end of our next work week. And we might be watching a tropical system getting stronger that around that time, heading towards maybe Puerto Rico and the Bahamas. We'll see. But there you go. Watch out for that 712 degrees tomorrow. All right. We're moving right along here. Let me get rid of that. That is your forecast. There's that live look outside. Just want to remind you, as always, there's a lot of resources here that you can get whatever you like at xtolmag.com/weather. We got our live show up right now. Interactive radar, current conditions, 7-day forecast, a lot more regional weather maps there for you. The interactive radar, which just shows some rain out towards Illinois and Missouri, that'll try to make its way here later on this evening. And a shout out to our partners as well, Lions Roofing, and they are family-owned local company. So If you need any help with your roof, if you have a future storm, give them a shout. 812-294-3595. Love these guys. Be playing some golf with them on Monday. But you can get your free estimates here, lionsroofingco.com. Helping you out on both sides of the river. And they've got a career section. They've got the roofing repair technician job opening there. And if you need another opportunity, there's libspaving.com. They've got, again, a bunch of job openings here. Spreading the word about opportunities in Southern Indiana and beyond. And then get hooked up at Ivy Tech to, accelerate your career, your future career, or change careers. They're going to meet you where you're at, whether you're in your teens, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, whatever you might want to learn about. They've got all the resources right here at the Ivy Tech Community College campus here in Sellersburg. You can learn a ton online at ivytech.edu, but you can also register for Tuesdays at the Tech, where you can just walk around with instructors and administrators and get more information that way. So thank you to them. And also my buddy Michael Long here with American Family Insurance. He was telling me they've actually got, with car insurance, decreases in renewals, decreases in the amount it will cost. So we don't hear that very often right now in the economy that we have. So maybe give him a shout and get a quote. 812-578-3072. Tell him that I sent you. Tell him Ben sent you to amfam.com and search Michael Long. And again, he's got just a bunch of great reviews here. Proud to be an American Star certified agency, excellence in customer experience. There you go. So thanks to our partnerships, and also thanks to you for being here. I mean, this is why we are doing it. And Laura says, I wish there was a roof that lasted forever, but then roofers would run out of work. That's kind of like everything, like cars and cell phones and everything. But I guess it depends on the materials. If you had a nice metal roof that never got hail damage or something like that. And of course, it all depends on the weather. A lot of times we have to replace our roof or repair roofs because of our crazy weather here in the Ohio Valley. And just like Gina Ann, yard sale scheduled tomorrow morning. When will East Louisville dry out tomorrow? So again, feel free to drop in any events that might be happening in your area, any festivals, yard sales. Drop them in the comments. Let people see what's going on in your area. So I would say by around noon tomorrow, you're going to be looking dry. It's a really close call there, Gina, on the Ohio River. Southern Indiana, just north of the river, likely will dry out very soon. In I would say late morning, sooner, I should say. And then around midday tomorrow, that your yard sale should be drying up. We got a yep from Laura. And if that is the last comment, we'll wrap things up. One last look at just some high clouds here with our live look with our Extol Media live cam right there at the corner of Market and Vincennes in Uptown, New Albany. Thank you guys so much for watching here on this Friday. I'm going to take it easy, try to get feeling better. Hope you guys are feeling good too with this ragweed season or whatever virus might be going around. And hope you have a good one. Stay safe, have a fun weekend, and we'll see you Monday.